Yeah, we're doing volume. So if you look at the back, so the front part of the sheet is the lesson. The back part is the thing you're going to be allowed to use during your test. It has all the formulas. So you'll be allowed to use that on your test. So again, like I said, volume is pretty much straightforward. Identify the shape, figure out the sides, plug it in, use a calculator, just round it properly. That's all there is to it. So for the first one, Sean, what type of shape do we have? Yep, it's a square-based pyramid. Yep. Okay. So using your sheet, can someone tell me what the volume of a square-based pyramid is? Yeah, what's the formula for the volume of a square-based pyramid? Yep. So base squared times the height divided by 3.
You mean A base times I?
No, I like b squared times h divided by 3. You can like rewrite them different ways if you want. So what's the reason for having the base squared? What's the point of it, Austin? Multiple. Well, and it's also a square. Okay, the base is a square. So what is the dimension for my base in that square base pyramid? 10. So you're gonna get 10 squared. What's my height? 9 divided by 3. What's 10 to the power of 2? 100 times 9 divided by 3. So I know 100 times 9 is 900 divided by 3. Laura, can you ask Siri what 900 divided by 3 is?
60. It's 30, right? 60?
300. So volume is 300. What is it? Centimeters cubed. So when we're finding volume, we're using centimeters cubed, meters cubed, whatever cubed.
Do you mind zooming in?
Mind zooming in?
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's enough. Like a little bit more to the left. A little bit zoomed out now.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. I'm still not good.
So David, what's my next shape?
It's a sphere.
It's a sphere. Thank you, David. What's the volume of a sphere?
It's a volume.
It is the volume of a sphere. That's perfectly fine. So volume of a sphere is 4 times pi times the radius cubed
What pi?
divided by 3. So we have my radius here, which is what? What's my radius?
The radius.
It's the radius, exactly. But what number is it? Austin.
Is it 5?
Yeah, the radius is 5. So 4 times pi times 5 to the power of 3 divided by 3. Sean, can you tell me what 5 to the power of 3 is?
5 to the power of 3 is 15.
No.
Oh my god.
To the power of
5 times 5 times 5.
125.
There we go.
What?
So now what you're going to do is you're going to input this on your calculator. So ideally start with your numerator and divide that answer by 3. So Siri, do it.
Hey Siri. Hey Siri. What's 4 times 5 times 125 divided by 3? Hey Siri. It's 523.5987.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you,
Sounds
Siri.
Smart.
So if I round it to the nearest tenth, what would it be?
Siri graduates.
523.
Said Siri graduate.
0.6 centimeters cubed. Yes, Austin.
4.
Pardon?
Where do you get 4?
The 4 is part of the equation. If you look at the volume of a sphere, it's part of the equation.
Can I do the next one?
You gonna ask Siri?
Nah.
Okay.
I got my
Just gonna use the calculator.
Okay.
His brain Siri.
So what type of shape do we have for the next one, Kareem?
Triangle.
Triangle what?
A slant.
Triangular prism. Thank you.
It's slanted triangle.
Okay, so the volume for a triangular prism is going to be volume is equal to base times length times height divided by 2.
Siri, you do cursive.
So, yeah, I like drawing my L's as a cursive because sometimes I get mixed up with a 1. So,
When you're doing that,
Yeah.
it's based like for light.
Yeah. so when we talk about the base, we're talking about the base of the triangle because it's a triangular prism. And when we talk about the height, we're talking about the height of the triangle. All the length means is how long the prism is, which would be this. That would be the length. Because when it stands on the triangle, it's going to be 8 meters in length or 8 centimeters in length. Yes, Sean.
What's that sign beside the B?
It's an L. It's a
Oh,
cursive
L.
L. Cursive L.
That's what you're in your head.
So-
I have to write it that way.
I like to, I don't know, I just like to write it that way.
I agree. I'll hand it.
Wait, Mr. Garcia.
Yes.
Why is it
No one cares.
It's base times length times height. Okay, cool. So can someone tell me what my base is?
It's a base.
Austin?
Is it 10 or
It's
8?
10. It's 10. 10 is my base. We're looking at the base of the triangle.
6.
What's the length of the whole prism?
8.
8. And what's the height of my triangle?
6.
I said 6.
6.
So can someone tell me what the volume is now? 10 times 8 times 6. Divide that all by 2.
80 times 6 divided by 2.
48.
240.
40.
240 centimeters cubed.
Okay, then I'm off.
So that means there's 480. And then divided by 2.
Yep.
Okay. I was
I think nobody uses Siri.
win?
Yep, they won all 3 games yesterday.
I thought they lost to.
They lost to one team, and that was on the first day. All right, next one. So we're not going to determine the amount of liters. We're just going to determine the volume of this shape.
Oh, I think it's leader, not leader. Seriously, this is leader.
So determine volume of shape. All right. So how many shapes do we have in here? What's the first shape if I name this shape 1? It's a cone.
The cone. That's what.
Dave, what's the second shape?
Dave. Second one is.
Starts with a C as well. CY.
Cylinder.
Cylinder.
Yes.
Yeah, he had it.
So just based off of the formulas for volume, which one do you think is going to be the easiest to find?
Oh, the cone.
Not a chance in the world it's a cone.
Cylinder.
Cylinder is going to be the easiest one to find. So what's the volume of a cylinder?
Two. Wow. Every cylinder in the world is.
No, what's the volume? Like, what's the formula?
I know.
Kareem,
V equals A.
the one at the bottom. So you see how you have?
V.
Yep.
V equals pi
Mm-hmm.
to the power of 2.
Nope, not pi to the power of 2.
R to the power of 2, my bad.
Okay.
Times.
Yep, times height. Perfect.
Should we get this from?
It's at the top. It's at the top.
I see.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So just looking at the cylinder, what is my radius? So do I have radius or diameter to begin with? For that shape, do I have the radius or do I have the diameter? For Sienna, we have the diameter. So how do I find the radius? Anyone? Divided by 2. So radius is equal to diameter divided by 2. So what's 26 divided by 2?
26 divided by 2.
Yep.
13.
So my radius is 13. And based off the cylinder, what's my height?
You show us the cylinder.
It's on your paper.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, based off the cylinder?
What's the height of the cylinder?
15.
Thank you, Dave. 15. Good
Oh,
job.
just the cylinder?
Yep.
When it's
So,
when it's
yes.
something like that, you can calculate it like 2 different shapes.
It's the same thing as a composite figure, except in 3D form.
What's the composite?
Remember those things that we were doing yesterday?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's a composite figure. So I'm going to do pi times the radius squared, which is 13 squared, times the height, which is 15. So 13 squared is 169 times 15. So I want you guys to calculate this and round it to the nearest tenth of a meter. So pi times 169 times 15.
Yep.
I can't do that in my head.
How about on piece of paper?
No.
How about
On a calculator, yes.
with pi times? Can you do the first result times 15? So that's how much 169. Can you do?
Can someone tell me the answer?
Use pi times 169 and then use it.
7,000.
535.
Bill
Creed.
Thank you.
I had that.
Centimeters cubed. All right. So the last thing we need to find is the volume of a cone. So what's the volume of a cone? How do you find that formula? Use your sheet.
I got it.
Okay, Sean, what is it?
The base.
No,
times height.
I don't want that one.
Oh,
I
you don't
want
want that
no.
one? No, it's volume, right? Wait,
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
The one with the pi and the r squared and the h and the division by 3.
Yeah, I don't know what you're looking at. I do not know what
It's
you're
right here.
Yeah, I'm looking at that one. Oh, wait, that one. Oh, wait. Pi times r squared times height.
Divided by what?
3.
Thank you.
Will these formulas be on like our test?
You're allowed to have that sheet with you.
Okay, thanks. The whole sheet?
Yes.
So you can like switch over to here.
No, just the back part. I'm gonna tape them to your table so you don't flip.
But I'm actually writing notes.
That's good. I'm not complaining about
Good for
that.
you, Korean.
All right. So if I look at the cone, do I have the height of the cone? No. So what is the first thing that we learned in this unit? So we're gonna have to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the height of my cone. Yep. So I know that this is 13 and I have 20. So this is what I basically have so far. So how am I going to find the height using the Pythagorean theorem, Laura?
Okay, so you do 20 to the power of 2
Okay.
minus 13 to the power of 2, which equals h to the power of 2.
Okay, perfect. So 20 to the power of 2 is 400. 13 squared is 169. Is equal to h squared. So what's 400 minus 169?
400 minus
230.
200.
So Kareem, how do I get rid of the squared? No. Yazin, how do you get rid of the squared?
Square root.
Square root.
I was gonna, bro. No. Actually, no. I know it. I'm not dumb.
What's the square root of 2? Thank you, Siri.
Oh my goodness.
To the nearest tenth.
It's 15.2.
Okay. So my height for the cone is 15.2.
Mr. Garcia.
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, I was.
Thank you, Susan Bennett. That's after so
Mr. Garcia, I was.
Ah.
Zero actor.
So now I have my radius and now I have my height.
Seriously,
Yes, Kareem.
I was just calculating something. That's why I wasn't like paying attention with the.
Yeah.
Okay.
I swear, I promise. I know.
So we have radius and height. So it's going to be pi times 13 squared times my height, which is 15.2, all divided by 3. So it's going to be pi times 169 times 15.2 divided by 3. So again, do your numerator first and then divide that answer by 3. Laura, do your thing.
Hey Siri, what's pi times 169 times 15.2 divided by 2?
Yeah.
To the nearest tenth.
2,690.0.
0.
Round it to the nearest
Wait,
10.
why would?
Yes, Kareem, what's your question?
No, I was just asking why would you like 169? I forgot.
Because the radius is 13 and 13 to the power of 2 is 169. So now that we have both volumes, Sean, how do we find the total volume?
We have both volumes.
Yep.
I think you times it or add.
Add.
Yeah,
Add.
David, you didn't ask me.
Total volume
David, you gonna hold that, bro?
is equal to cone
Hold that.
plus cylinder.
I'm going to.
So the volume of my cone was 2,690.0, and the volume of the cylinder was 7,963.9. So when you add those two together, what do we get?
Bring up Siri.
2,609.
Hey Siri, what's 7,963.9 plus 2,690?
0.0.
10,653.
She's smart.
It's Siri.
That's what I'm saying. Siri's smart.
Do we round?
There we go.
9?
No, just round it to Last example. So I want to determine the height of the shape if the volume is 1,020 centimeters cubed. So what type of shape do we have, Kareem? Not a cube, because cube means it's not what it's called.
A cube.
It's not a cube.
A cube prism.
No.
A rectangular prism.
Rectangular prism. There we go.
No, it's a rectangle.
So look at the sides.
Look at the number.
Oh.
Okay. So Sean, looking at the formula for the volume of a rectangular prism, what is it?
The volume of a rectangular prism.
Mhm.
Give me 1 second, please. Wait, that's not on. Oh, it is.
That's the easiest one. You guys learned this last year.
Base times height.
Length times width times height.
How it says.
There's two.
So
Okay, last time I checked that area.
if we look at this question, do we have our volume given to us? Yes. So for what variable is my volume going to go in for? V, L, W, or H? Sienna? V.
No excuses.
Remember, your length and your width can be interchangeable. So what dimension do you guys want your length to be?
10.
Okay, we'll do 10. What's your width?
6.
And we don't know what H is. So what's 10 times 6? So I have 1,020 is equal to 60 H. Now, if you go back to single step variable equations, how do I isolate for H? Kareem. Oh, I thought you
Okay,
did.
but I will.
Okay, what is it?
So basically, you have to divide
Okay,
this time around, right?
okay.
You gotta divide
By what?
by 60 and then do the same thing for 1,000.
So what's 1,020 divided by? Thank you. So therefore, the height is 17 centimeters.
That's it?
So
That's easy.
I know, right?
No work.
So the last question you can do on your own. It's an algebra 1.